Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I will. Who knows? Oh, by the way, we've been live for the past couple of seconds, so
If Kim ever becomes a doctor, I will question even more than I already do the fickle state of the United States Health Service that they would give her a medical license.
try me.
Hey, don't be rude.
I'll see you in 8 years. Actually, it's 11. I calculated it, but I can see you then, Evan.
This is why she's not a mathematician, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
Yes.
I am, because it's 4 years for med school, and it's
11 is the larger number. Moving on.
fucking hate you.
Okay. Hi, guys. Good evening. This evening's scene is going to take place outside of the building that up until a few, well, frankly, hours ago, had been known as the Griffith Club. However, many people have read the newspapers and they are led to understand that a employment group or a property consortium from the Middle East has recently, or rather recently when I say, in the last 24 hours, acquired the club proper and has stated that it is closed save for private functions. Every individual here gathered hopes that their name remains on some sort of list, as, at least in the case of one of you, I don't think you actually eat food that the Griffith Club does not provide you. I mean, Lottie could pay for food. I don't think she does. But
She lives off of protein bars mostly. Shh, don't judge her.
I mean, okay. So, the Griffith Club, or what it is now, awaits. We will gather outside of the Griffith Club proper, where there is a large man, clearly of Eurasian extract, standing wearing a black suit, black sunglasses, with an earpiece clipped into his ear, and a checkboard in his hand. He will be standing outside. The long staircase that priorly led to the bar of the Griffith Club, beg your pardon, yawns open in front of you. So we will go down the list of people as you stand outside the door waiting. We will start, in this case, with Mr. Finley Weiss.
Oh God, why? So,
First one on my list.
lovely. So wait, does the signage different now? Or has that not been updated? Like, how much have they done?
The signage hasn't been updated yet now.
Okay. He'll just walk over, take a look, and if the doors are open, he'll walk in. Otherwise, he'll wait outside.
The doors are open, however, we will then, as I said, I would like you all to enter together because it will just be much easier for me.
Sorry,
Austin, you are next.
Liam will skate on up after reading the paper for various shenanigans, and he reads the purchase of the block, and he skates on up to do some research as he sees the man in the very nice suit with the checkboard, and will wave at Finley.
Wave.
Next, we have Lottie.
Lottie has been on her way to see the new club, or whatever the hell it's going to be called. You know, she's clutching one of the flyers she took. She sees the man, she sees the new place, and she sniffs capitalism. She hisses loudly, but shrugs because, well, she's part of the system too. And just kind of meanders toward the opening, kind of waving back, waves to the two dudes she knows. Obvious question mark.
All right. Next, we have Carlisle.
Yay, the place is under new management. Might actually get a chance to have food without spit in it. Small chance. Carlisle will walk up. He's dressed kind of bulkily. He's carrying a bowling ball bag, as usual. And we'll nod to the others that are waiting outside and kind of just stand there, lean against a wall, and wait to see what happens.
Lastly, we have Father Bell.
Yep. Here we'll just kind of stroll up with a raven chilling on his shoulder. He instead of like in the picture, he's not wearing a cassock. He is wearing a clerical suit. A new one this time because his previous one got blood all over it. We're not going to talk about that situation. It was an accident. But yeah, he'll
So
just
is it
kind
a good suit?
Huh?
Is it a good suit?
Yes,
Great.
it is a. Mhm. Well, no,
Weed?
it's a clerical suit.
Ah.
By the way, okay, as you've all gathered here, so I can begin to do my exposition, I know that a number of you yesterday were given spiritual medallions by Mage de. So I assume that in the case of Kimberly and Liam, in the case of Zach and Liam, that they're both wearing their medallions.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't
That
coming
he
off.
is.
Other than that, does anyone have spirit side currently active?
Nope.
Spirit is for losers.
Sure, why not? You want me to roll it, or you want to just...
I was asking if you had it on because there isn't really a reason or a prompt for you to turn it on. So, I'm saying if you had it blue booked or not, basically. All right. For both for both Mr. Belmont or Father Belmont and Mr. Murphy, the bouncer is another one of them.
Nod.
He appears to be, as you see him, he has a long twisted beard that twists into a fork, bright green skin. His hair is cut back in a top knot. He is wearing long, shimmering robes that look to be a silver color with a purple undershirt. He will look down. He stands an impressive 6'5". For those of you who can see his true form, he stands about, realistically, maybe a foot taller than that. But he'll look down and he will say, I'm led to understand that you are the guests that were expected.
Yes. We'll say looking at people and just kind of shrug like, the fuck?
My master wished you to always be welcome here. He acquired this place so that he could give a measure of comfort to all of those of your ilk who call the city home. Do you understand, Ichati?
See. And a lot of you kind of look at people and be like, right.
Liam will nod. In kind of the affirming way towards Lottie. Mm-hmm.
We have only one request. Whilst you are inside, you obey the wishes and the rules of Suleiman, who sets down his code and codifice. As long as you are happy to accept his code, you are welcome as our guest.
Is
Can
there
you
like
provide
an
the
appendix?
I'm
Yeah.
unfamiliar.
I beg your pardon? Sorry, two people spoke at once.
I'm going to tap this over to Lottie, and then I will follow up.
Lottie is just gonna raise an eyebrow. Is there like an appendix we can look at for the rules? Are they just kind of a general layout?
The main rules are simple. That blood is your own, and blood is not to be shed. Your that blood is your own and blood is not to be shed. That all that is yours, and you shall have entered with, thus you should leave with. And you should leave with no more than is yours, and take no more than is.
There went the people who were on their phones.
Yeah, somebody got taken.
Goodbye.
Well,
I think the genie took a liking to that one. They've left. No.
How are we supposed to follow the rules if we were...
I'm just going to politely ask that someone, Kim, knock on wood.
There we
I
go.
already did knock on wood. What do you want me to do?
Again.
Welcome back.
What did you? What's Kim squeaking about?
Kim jinxed us.
I did not.
God damn it, Kim.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
So,
Did not.
your blood is your own. Don't take
Thank
anybody's
you.
blood. Your stuff is your own. Don't take anybody's stuff.
And lastly,
Basic golden rule.
respect that this is the master's house, and he will respect you as his guests.
That sounds reasonable.
Aww.
Noted.
Lottie's plans of seeing if there are any of the old portraits and defacing them. Gotcha.
In that case, he will bow his head and he will extend his arm and he will say, "Welcome. Please step inside."
Lottie will swunch
Liam.
on in.
Liam will kick up his skateboard, tuck it behind his backpack, and affix it to himself, and then walk on in.
Okay. For the record, the traditional red carpet that at one point led up the stairs to the Griffith Club has been replaced with intricately woven rugs that are far more delicate and far more intricate than they were before. You see two great statues stood against the walls at opposite sides, both of whom are represented a winged man with a long flowing beard. Once again, for any of you who have religious... Oh, hi, someone has the theocracy, has theology, don't they?
Theology 4, comparative religion.
Want to roll me some intellect theology?
Will do.
I think I've got belief systems if that applies.
That's my special.
You can roll belief systems at a higher diff. You can roll it at difficulty 8 if you'd like.
Is it intelligence?
Yes. And what were you going to say, Kim?
Does my specialty in comparative religions apply?
It does, you know.
Okay, that's 6 successes then. So he knows.
1 success.
Okay. Those pictures represent Ahur Mazdi, or Mazda, who is the supreme being, the overgod, essentially, or the one god of Zoroastrianism, also known as the religion of Persia. It is the oldest known monotheistic religion in the world. And for those of you, I assume everyone here knows what monotheistic means, so I don't need to explain it.
Zoroastrianism, so much fun.
It is, you know. But I would like to point out that Kim, if you wish to actively poke anything in Zoroastrianism with your levels of theology, you are more than happy to do so. If you don't want to, you don't have to. As I said, you will pass by these statues who look down at you with benevolent faces until you reach the top of the stairs, where there used to be a great pair of double doors that would lead into the Griffith Club's main lounge. However, these have been replaced with cloth flaps.
curious.
So, the great golden doors have been replaced with very lovely curtains.
Essentially, bright red and trimmed in a gold trim cloth. Yes, essentially.
Okay. Well then, Liam will walk up the stairs and part the cloths and kind of peek in.
Okay. As you gentlemen and ladies look into the room, whereas once it was, as I have described, a gentleman's club with walrus-faced, mustachioed men looking down on you, it is now as if you look into the heart of an ashram or a yurt or a tribal a tribal tent, as it were. You will see on all sides surrounding the room the same canvas. Interestingly enough, as you look down, you will see the canvas billow as if it is in a light wind, and wisps of sand delicately trace themselves along the carpeted floor. There are many shelves that contain many books and scrolls layered against the walls on either side of the door as you enter. There is a huge round wooden table set low and covered in food, as well as in the center having a grand shisha pipe that must be, you would say, at least 6 feet tall, and purring away happily as hot coals are changed beneath it. Your senses are assailed immediately with the smell of violets, the smell of lotuses, the smells of poppies, and oh, the subtle hint of spices. Everything here seems to be.
Did you say coffee?
Yes,
Poppy.
poppy.
Damn it! I thought you said coffee.
Everything here seems to have a sense of itself and yet be entirely transitory. As I've said, though interestingly enough, you people have been in the Griffith Club before, and I'm going to throw you something. This room is much larger than the Griffith Club's main bar was. You will notice that there are two very traditionally clad women standing at the door, along with one man, also very traditionally garbed, standing in front of the door, and they will all bow collectively as you enter.
Fancy. Jeez, I haven't been to this many posh places.
We would welcome you on behalf of the master. Long I'd have no doubt of your travels been. However, here we would bathe your feet, provide you food, tell you a tale, and smile as you sink to sleep. Should that be your desire? Says the man in a very hypnotic and entrancing voice. For those of you who can see him in the spirit world, for the record, he is just an ordinary person. So are the other
Okay.
two ladies.
Ah, very fancy indeed. Food would be awesome. Because Lottie apparently, according to the SD, doesn't eat anywhere else.
I mean, well, no, I just thought it was amusing. You can eat elsewhere if you'd like, but I think
True,
Lottie's of
it's
the
true
mindset
though.
of, I was going to say, is it free? Hashtag tick yes, tick no.
Yes. She's frugal. She's also a starving artist.
As I said, you will see the center of the round table that has the large hookah shisha pipe on it is laden down with food. As in the table almost groans under the weight of the bounty. The man will stand back in a very kind of clipped and precise way, and he will bow his head again and extend his arm, and he will say, "Please, come, be our guest. There is much food to drink, there is much food to eat, and much wine to drink. You are, of course, all welcome here."
Carlisle will, I guess, take the first step in then.
One of the women will step forward and take your coat.
Thank you. He'll hand it to her.
Liam will follow suit.
I will point out, for a very obvious question, particularly because some of you don't know the nature of the new owners and all this jazz and why they're here, etc. How in the name of sweet tap dancing Christ did they manage to do this in a day? That's impossible.
No,
The
that's
magic of
magic.
money.
I have an answer for this one.
We're mages.
Money magic.
Magic, motherfucker!
Magic, money, and money magic.
Both, all three at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Speeds up everything.
It's not that surprising.
It's amazing what you can do when you pay the right amount of people the right amount of money.
Mm-hmm. Actually,
This is
Lottie's
what
going.
that in World of Darkness, resources is its own superpower.
It really
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
It really is.
And if they're genies,
Lottie.
the whole, poof. I imagine it's true.
So, would you care to sit and eat in that case, young lady? He will smile, looking down at Lottie, who's probably nearly foaming at the mouth.
Yes, yes. Lottie doesn't have common sense. She's going to go with her stomach. She's going to accept the free food. Because starving artist. Emphasis on the starving. She's a tiny little thing. She needs to eat.
But yes, as you enter, they will take your coats. They will hang them up very politely. They will, as I said, they will make sure that you are all comfortable. At which point, they will basically ask you what you would like to drink. As you tell them what you would like to drink, they will.
As we tell them what we'd like, they leave.
Oh well, they'll be back.
That's hospitality for you. You tell them what you want, they leave.
It's all good. Welcome back.
Thank you. As I said, they will ask you what you wanted, what you would like to drink. When you answer what you would like to drink, they will bow very politely before they will proceed to leave the room via a tent flap on the other side of the room to the left. And you will be left seated this grand. You'll be left seated around this grand table. As I said, you are seated on large cushions on the ground.
Lottie's just gonna hold up her hand. Okay, before I eat any of this, or just whatever, question. Anyone getting any sass feelings? Just any spidey senses whatsoever?
I don't know.
Nada? Anyone else? All good?
I'm sorry, what?
She's asking if
Lottie's
any of us
asking-
are having.
No, that was in character.
Yeah, and
Oh.
Carlisle's responding to you. She's asking if anybody's getting hackles up or feeling anything weird.
Because the magic of money may be strong, but damn is so strong. And they're really, 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 really good service, which you don't normally find. Like, subservient good service. So I ask. Any spidey senses? Anybody?
I'm undecided yet.
I like the decor and the service is really good.
Considering the difference.
I mean, the other place had its own charm, but I think I prefer this place so far.
I don't know. This is a level of decadence I am not used to, that I could really
Yeah.
quickly get used to.
See, that's what makes me suspicious. At least in the other place, I knew what I was getting. I was getting snide remarks and really good food. But, like, I suffered with snide remarks. Here, it's, like, super gorgeous. But no hat has dropped. The shoe
She's
is
not.
still in the air.
She's not wrong, you know.
I am not. But at the same time, I'm starving. So can someone make a decision quickly? Because if not, I'm just going to shovel this food in my mouth.
I will point out all of the food looks to be either North African or Middle Eastern in its preparation. So you know there are many. There's a lot of couscous. There's a lot of olives. You know, there's a lot of lamb. There's a lot of.
Delicious.
But it all looks incredible. There's a lot of curry. It all looks incredible. Continue.
And sold.
Sold. Alright. Well, Lottie tried. Lottie's just gonna start spooning.
The answer to that, little one, is simple. You hear a female say.
Is it fact?
Is that the same female voice from the other night?
Yes.
Liam's just gonna close his eyes for a second.
For those of you who are interested, you will see if you, as you turn around, when you eventually do so, that there is a very attractive woman who's wearing a black business suit with a pair of black sunglasses, casually sitting cross-legged on the top of one of. She's literally sitting about 15, 20 foot off the ground on top of one of the bookshelves.
Good evening.
Hello, mysterious voice who interrupted me and almost gave me a heart attack. How can I help you today?
I was answering your question.
Oh, thank you, mysterious voice. What up?
You said, how is it that this can be possible? How is it that Y can be X and X can be Y? The answer is actually fairly simple.
Okay. I was bad at math, so.
She'll smile. It is all quite simply the power of a wish.
Thank you, wish giver. And wisher. Wait, wishes?
Blink, 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 blink.
That's some powerful wishing. And wish granting. Damn good job.
I am merely the facilitator. After all, wishes are complicated and fickle things. Do you not agree?
No, I absolutely know. They're hard won with a sacrifice or two, and sometimes by sheer gumption. The sheer gumption part's normally really fun, though.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm so glad that you're enjoying our establishment, I suppose.
Yes, very much. Thank you. Colette's gonna say as she's like discreetly shoveling food onto her plate while she's having a conversation. Just like, yeah, definitely enjoying. Thank you so much. You do great work. This is all beautiful. All beautiful.
Carlisle hasn't touched anything yet.
My master wishes to extend his thanks to you for your intervention last night. For your interventions last night, Masters Mercy and Belmont. He is eternally grateful for your liberation of Canon Hotep.
Who now? Colette just put down her spoon and listen to the story. Right.
Liam will nod.
I'm glad we were able to help.
I take it I missed some excitement.
Sounds like it.
That's an understatement.
Well, you're still alive, so good on you.
Through
Feel free to share the story.
we are alive through the blessings of and he will look over at the female Jin. What is the best way to address you? I don't know if using your name is appropriate.
She contemplates as she kind of rocks back and forth. She has her hands on her knees, and she kind of rocks back and forth as she thinks. She says, "You act like the name that you used to address me was my name. These are not necessarily indicative of one another. And to answer your question as to what I should be called, Machi is fine. It is what I am called in my service, so it is the token of my service. So, to you, I shall be Machi. Is this agreeable?"
He will bow deeply. Very much so. Through the blessings of the powerful Machi and the great strength and impressiveness of the dear Lord Belmont, we survived.
Only survived. She will very casually hop down from the. She's about 20 foot in the air, so you will see her jump down. You will also notice as she falls, her feet will stop about 10, 15 inches off the floor, and she will then basically float down at a much deceleration rate before she hits the ground, if you get me. Her hands clasped behind her back. She will say, "You helped me liberate one of my younger brothers. This is a debt that we will repay. I don't exactly know what Canon Hotep will do in the service of Master Sketch, but we shall see in time, shall we not?"
If I may be so bold, the debt was already paid when we gained the knowledge in Sketch. I am not sure how to phrase that. Sketch was looking after your younger brother.
My brother is in his service. He is Master Sketch's slave. That would be the correct term, yes?
Whoa, what now?
Perhaps slave is not the correct word. I doubt that Sketch will treat him as such.
Well, Liam's gonna kind of like rock back and forth, and his eyes are gonna bounce from the right side to the left side, and just kind of like he's definitely rumbling something around inside his head.
But either way, as I perhaps did not get across, there is no debt. At least I do not believe there is a debt owed. We were paid for what we did in various ways. And it was a completed deal.
Correct me if I am wrong, Master Belmont, but an individual whom you own, their life, their death, their choices, their consequences, their very breath, is that not a slave?
Perhaps to some that is a slave, but not to me.
Raising eyebrow.
So Could we get that brief summary in layman's terms, Liam? I know you seem a little focused there, but
And
We were approached by Machi, her master, and we rescued a djinn from. Rather, rescue's not quite the right word. Appropriated the djinn's container and its presence from some unscrupulous people. And who acquired it through ill-gotten means. And
basically, you stole a djinn, and now the djinn's with someone else. But they don't suck.
jury's still out on the ladder? But he's an entertaining person.
I don't know what's good or not. I wish the djinn happiness and safety.
She will. You'll see the female's eyes blink behind the shades. As a matter of fact, her shades will fall down her nose, and you'll see the fact that her eyes are a brilliant purple. As she says, "Interesting. An interesting turn of phrase."
Oh shit! Sorry, is that like a bad word? Shit, is that a bad word? Sorry, I don't know.
No, it is more the matter of fact that our lives are to serve, well, when we are under contract and bound by sworn oath and bond. So it is that our master's happiness becomes our happiness. I'm just amused at the concept of you wishing them happiness that is alien to their master, because it does not exist.
Well, safety too, and health. Important stuff, even if they're working.
What is your name, little one?
Lottie. Lottie.
It is very
And
nice
Lottie
to
will
meet
give a
you.
smile.
It is very nice to meet you, Lottie.
Nice to meet you as well. You do have a very impressive spread out. Hoping? Please? Hungry?
I am not hungry, but thank you for the offer. As I said, it was my master's wish that you be made comfortable, and I hope you are comfortable.
Yes, and Lottie will dig in. She's been given permission.
Please, all of you, do eat your fill. It is here for you, after all.
Finley will, join in on the eating, but he's kind of looking at Liam just like, so you guys just liberated a genie from someone else. Sounds like that would be kind of difficult.
For the record, at this point, the djinn will bow and she will say, "My master will be down momentarily. If you will excuse me, I must help him with his ablution." Please excuse me.
Liam will
I'll
bow.
be back momentarily.
Liam will bow over to Machi.
You will see her. She turns around and disappears into a puff of literal purple smoke.
Yeah. They were. Yep. Nope. A member of the Ecstatics successfully managed to liberate the genie from a number of dangerous people, and the dear father here was quite instrumental in making sure everybody survived.
His cheeks will kind of darken. Because that was not what he wanted to remember, because he spent like all night praying after that dude's soul. And he'll just kind of look over to Liam. And he'll just very slightly shake his head and say, "Please, I did not do much. If anyone was instrumental, it was..." Oh, see, what was the genie's name again? I can't remember.
The one who just left, that was Machi.
Machi. Okay. If anyone was instrumental, it was Miss Machi.
Can I get a perception empathy to not do a dumb thing?
You can, you know.
Alright, so this is gonna be it. 2 dice, because apparently empathy isn't on the mage sheet.
Rip. Who needs empathy?
We suck at life.
Say that.
I actually
when
think
have
Lottie
empathy.
has empathy. Do I have
Oh,
an
I get 2
empathetic?
successes.
Sweet.
Oh, no, I will not. He will catch on to the clues. I just nod.
Oh, priesty boy, not happy he killed somebody.
There,
So,
there. Here, have some curry.
Have some curry, have some olives. It's good for you.
Wait, are they
That's
fucking
literally what
telling him
Lottie's
that?
gonna say. Lottie's going to say that. Here, have some curry. It'll make everything better. Mostly.
He gives her that look of, like, it's very clear he doesn't know what to do to that.
Just
This,
eat the curry.
this
Just eat the curry. Here. She'll put some more turmeric on it. There you go. Better. Have the curry. Take the curry. Enjoy.
he'll take the curry, but he won't eat it. He's just still looking at Lottie with this really confused face. Oh, shit,
Lottie
by the way.
touch.
Sorry, just should mention real fast because I forgot to do it earlier. There are some people here who haven't met him before. His echoes is, he gives off this... Okay, I don't really want to say he gives it off, but just in his general vicinity, you get a really warm, kind of fuzzy feeling in your stomach. Like when someone you care about comforts you and tells you it's going to be okay. And you're just kind of like, oh my God, this feels, and you're just kind of in that safe little happy zone. That's his echoes.
it's like you're getting
That's
sleepy.
really awesome.
Quick question. Does anyone here have curiosity or any other flaw like that?
Yes.
One
Hey,
second, checking.
None of
Hey, Lottie,
those.
what's a genie? What's a genie? What's a genie? What's a genie? What's a genie?
Shit. Yeah, Lottie can't. So the fuck is a genie? What's a genie? What's a genie? She's gonna look around people and like poke at Belmont after she gives him the curry. So the fuck is a genie? What's a genie? She was nice, but like, what is a genie?
On a side note, I'm going to go to the bathroom while this is answered because I really want players to answer. It's funny.
Oh, and I've always forgotten to say this, but Lottie has echoes too. So she smells like apples and bowling ball polish, and she's got like static around her that isn't just from handling a lot of electrical equipment. So, boom. That's a genie.
Well, sorry, I shouldn't be speaking for someone else.
Anyone can answer. She's just randomly just like, what's a genie?
In layman's terms, ignoring the legends, a genie is an extremely powerful creature, what I know about them is that they are so powerful that they're one of the few entities that cannot in some way be bound, at least not in the conventional sense. Their containers, as such, don't actually hold them so much as they agree to be held. They agree to a contract. The contract determines the nature of their service and what will eventually free them. And they are bound to that contract. The vessel itself has no power. It's not like it's, a magic jar that happens to have the strength to hold something as powerful as what we just saw. Or someone, I should say. Other than that, that's about all I know about them.
So, wait, so they have to agree to be bound to a contract. Then why did her brother get stuck with some unscrupulous people?
They agree to the initial contract. They don't have any control usually over who acquires it later. It's rather like saying, I'll work in this restaurant for the rest, for 100 years, and then the restaurant comes under new management.
Good point, good point. Good point. Or like, it changes into a completely different restaurant, but the wording dictates this restaurant in particular.
Yes.
And maybe it's not always a restaurant, but you're serving in some kind of restaurant way.
Exactly.
Damn, you gotta be real good at contracts for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one small addendum I actually have to make, so I was pretty right in that. Which is the one thing you got wrong was their vessel is important because they can. What actually happens is they can be forcibly bound into a vessel, thus losing their freedom. At which point you can force them to make a contract because they're trapped.
Ah, okay. Misunderstood that part.
It's my wording of it. Yeah, so basically you can force them into a situation where they are trapped. Thus, they have to make a contract for freedom.
Assume he said that
sucks
instead.
balls.
Ooh.
Okay, Lottie will also add that sucks balls.
I will point out also for anyone who has spirit lore or particularly Jinn lore now, because some people have it, only the Teftani know how to create said device, said implement, and it's something that they guard together.
Only the Taftani know. You said, because you broke up a little bit, only the Taftani know how to create that binding.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Intrigue.
Huh.
So I take it some of you know the proprietor here?
Yes?
Oh, and I'm forgetting my manners. Lord Belmont, was it?
There,
They referred to him by that.
he knows.
Twice.
He knows. So he'll just kind of say, "Please do not call me that. I am Father Zachariah Belmont."
Ah, my apologies. Finley Weiss. He'll extend a hand.
He'll take it and shake it. I'm a member of the Celestial Chorus.
Verbatim.
Carlisle will offer his hand. Carlisle Carter with the Etherites.
He'll take his hand and shake it. And then he'll turn to Lottie. He'll just kind of say, "I know you offered me curry, but I don't believe we've ever been formally introduced."
Hiya, I'm Lotz. And she'll shake his hand. I'm ecstatic to meet you. I'm just gonna give him a grin. Listen, I've been saving that one up, alright?
It was very punny.
Oh, God.
Oh, one other thing. He also has a really thick fucking French accent, which I refuse to do because it is bad when I try to do it, but he has
Okay.
one.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Him, you're eating olives, being very happy with life.
Oh, my Raven's eating up.
Lottie,
Okay. Good for him.
Lottie will offer curry to the Raven and be like, yo, you want some of this goat curry? I got you.
Well, I've never tried it personally, but I'm more than happy to give it a go.
Why does
Great.
Raven sound like that nerdy school kid that you'd beat up?
Rude. Because he's hanging around with a really heavily French accented priest. There were no better prospects.
I mean, you got me there. Okay.
I will point out that drinks have now been brought out, including when Mr. White said he wanted a lot of coffee. They brought him a really tiny receptacle of coffee, plus a tiny little cup.
He is mistrustful now.
Did he get
Die when I
the
drink
Turkish
this.
coffee? Did he get the Turkish coffee?
Oh no.
Oh,
It
I've
is in
never
fact
had this before. I've never had this before.
Drink it.
If I keel over and start clutching my arm, I'm not faking.
Which means we should also have some. Continue.
And he's going to take a very careful, measured sip.
Roll me stamina.
Oh, God! Hey, he's been good recently. He's been drinking mostly water and a little bit of tea. But yeah,
Damn.
Boy.
what's the diff?
When you gotta roll stam for coffee, like, the fuck?
I mean, that's like
Six.
how
Yo,
I
if
make it
it's-
at home, but
Diff
damn.
6?
Listen, if it's Turkish coffee, he needs that stamina roll.
2 successes.
Excellent. I will roleplay your character's next reaction. Holy zombie crap, this is strong.
Paraphrased, but yes, that is a fair reaction. And he's a coffee connoisseur.
Pop an AFK for a minute.
This tastes like what would happen if you practically distilled espresso.
Oh, God.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
I'll try it sometime.
Would you care to try some, miss?
Yes. This is calculated death is one of the best ways to go.
Clearly he's like the footman or the man who's in charge of the floor. Kind of looks down at the fact that you've probably eaten 3 or 4 plates of food at this time. Looks at how tiny Lottie is. Looks at the plate. Looks at Lottie. Looks at the plate. Looks at Lottie. Shrugs. Says something in Arabic, which, if anyone here speaks it, basically corresponds to where does she put it all before leaving.
The black hole that is her stomach. She's named it Lottie Land.
It's a small horizon realm.
Died.
A couple of minutes later, the tent flap on the other side of the room will open, and the genie will return, and she's followed by a man dressed in a rather ostentatious red overcoat. He's wearing a white silk shirt underneath it, and a brilliant purple sash, upon which is hung a sword that appears to be made with a golden pommel. He has a huge ruby around his neck that, for anyone with spirit sight, will notice the genie is linked to. Clearly, their bottle, as it were. And they're also wearing a large gem hanging from their left ear in the form of a diamond, roughly the size of from your knuckle bone to the tip of your thumb. So it's a huge ass diamond. But as he walks into the room, he kind of has a small spring in his step, and he'll say, "Welcome, my friend. It's so good to see you all again. I do hope that you're enjoying my hospitality."
Carlisle will look over and go, "Yes, thank you very much for having us."
Oh, by all means, what can I say? When I found this establishment, all I could think of was the possibilities. Unfortunately, it was owned by some individuals who, needless to say, were so far, what would the correct phrase be? So far up themselves they could taste the brill cream. I bought a hair gel, I believe. So
That's it. Carlisle loses it laughing.
So I said I simply must have it and bought it. It was only a paltry 20 million.
Oh god, I
Wow.
love that. I love that description. Thank you. I haven't laughed that hard in a while. Thank you.
Paltry 20.
You're welcome. Yes, only a paltry 20 million was used.
No, I'm not
Buddy's
laughing about
going
that part.
to-
I'm laughing about the other parts.
Is going to try to cover up her shock by stuffing more in her face. I'm just a poor person. Let me just laugh and just read this.
Hey, hey, question
Back
to
now.
Evan.
Yes.
I know I handle obscene amounts of money on a daily basis, but would even Scishow be able to just flippantly throw off, like, 20 million?
No.
That would be like a major ass investment.
Yes. Bear in mind, this guy is changing his €750,000 car because he doesn't like the color.
Yeah, Finley's
Rich
impressed.
people.
I mean, the light was also kind of broken on it. Let's be real.
I'm just
here.
going to say it was totally the wrong shade of gray.
Well, my manners, it's so lovely to meet you all. For those of you I haven't met, of course, Father Belmont, so lovely to see you again, and you too, Mr. Murphy. My name is Ishar. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It is a pleasure to also make your acquaintance.
Finley
Leo.
will bow respectfully.
Bow deeply.
Carlisle will stand up and give a slight bow before sitting back down.
You'll see he kind of musses his hair with one of his hands, and he'll say, "Oh, no, please sit down. None of that formality. That's for my father when, he deigns to honor us all with his presence at some point. I hope he doesn't. That's neither here nor there. I'm so pleased to meet you all, and I'm so happy that you're enjoying yourself. I wanted to create somewhere where you could all feel at home, in the same way that I wanted a piece of my home. You understand me?
Aw, you got some pretty sweet digs. Thank you.
You're very welcome. For the record, for those of you who might have read the rumor, you might know who this guy is, because there's a rumor about him.
Finley's figured it out.
I'm gonna say super rich guy, so maybe some sort of dignitary.
Did you say that in character, or did you not?
No, well, Lottie's just gonna look over to Finley and be like, mouth dignitary?
Hold on, I got this. He'll just kind of mouth over to her. Shit, where is it? Damn it! I had it right there. It was the most recent. It was the third most recent
That's a weird thing to mouth to her.
Damn it. That's like the fourth most recent rumor. Damn, how far back did you bring this character? Oh, here we go. How do I pronounce that? Ishar Nahal Zandras Ibsid Kwasami of Ras Al Khaimah?
So he's just gonna mouth a lot of vowels and syllables at her.
No.
And she's just gonna glare at him.
He's literally just going to say, He's literally just going to say quietly, that would be His Highness Prince Ashar.
Ah, super dignitary. Gotcha. And she'll even give him a conspiratorial wink, gotcha. Holy shit.
For the record, you will both notice Marai, aka the Jinn, start to. She kind of covers her mouth with her hand, and you can see she's laughing. You can guess she heard you.
Yeah, that's alright. Lottie has one stealth. I'm not even gonna roll it for sake of just patheticness.
Oh,
No,
by the
please.
way,
I will join you in just a moment, but yes, we won quite a fine victory last night. It was exhilarating, was it not?
oh, Evan, by the way, the moment that he basically insulted the previous owners of the bar, that's when Carlisle started scooping food.
That's fair. It's really good food.
Hey, they piss on his name all the time. Of course, he's going to enjoy the hell out of somebody else insulting them.
But yes, my name is Ishar. You can use the whole title Malaki if you really want to. I personally prefer if you didn't. But I am a member of the Testani. I am a teller of stories and a walker of the world. But I'm also a very hungry person, so I'm going to join you and have dinner. This seems like an excellent idea. He will very casually just kind of throw himself into a cushion, and he will start to put food onto a plate. So, I'm so interested in this Dublin. It is such a beautiful city. As I said, I opted to come here when I heard that there were artifacts of cultural significance to my people that's been sold here, but then again, it doesn't really do it justice, does it? Then again, I suppose, does anything truly do it justice?
We have a wild Ben.
This is a strange and unique city, like no place I've ever been.
I like the concept of a place where the impossible and the possible, what would they say? They dance hand in hand, almost like as if the sun and the moon were together in the sky at once. Anything's possible.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Okay, hi Ben. How are you doing? You doing good?
Yes.
Okay. So the scene is currently being set in the Griffith Club. However, the Griffith Club is currently under new management, in inverted commas. So if your character would like to enter, I will do the new description for the place.
Okay, give me a second to set up my lower third.
No worries, take your time. Oh, actually, since Byron is also there. Byron, are you there? Are you not? You there? You not?
He's not at the moment. He's here, but he's not at the moment.
How do you know these things?
Because I've got him on both Skype and I have his phone number.
And he also has them on Discord, and he has cameras installed in his house secretly.
Hey, that's a secret. Not anymore. Thank you.
No, that's what we call a public secret. We all knew.
Okay.
He also has that one. There's also that one camera that he thinks that we don't know about that we actually do know about.
Oh, you mean the one in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh God, no. Anyways, no.
It's actually built in with that smell-o-vision, which really.
Oh God!
Let's not go there anymore, guys. Come on. Byron's had a rough day. Let's not tease him. It's his computer is now making funny noises apparently, which is
shit.
Good. Yeah, it took a tumble to the floor when the battle was over.
Moving back to the in-character stuff then, okay? So,
Indeed.
Ben, as I said, when you get to the Griffith Club proper, you will notice the fact that there is a large Eurasian man standing outside who has a clipboard in his hand. This is unusual, as that has never happened before.
Okay, Ellen will just get in line because obviously this was a bouncer. And
there is no line, as it were. There is just a bouncer. In fact, there is no line.
He'll try to walk past the damn bouncer then.
The bouncer will look down at him, shrug, and allow you inside.
Okay, and he continues inside, eating a Twinkie.
Damn you.
Because references.
As I've described it, you will see the fact that whereas the Griffith Club had a long red carpet that led up a flight of stairs to the double doors that allow you to enter the club proper, it has been replaced with a number of hand-woven, very intricate rugs that would be very Middle Eastern in style and design. As you get to the top, also, the double doors have been replaced. They are now gone. They don't exist anymore. There is a fabric hanging over the entranceway that is both gold, that is a deep burgundy crimson with a golden, with golden accents.
Probably made out of real gold.
Okay, Alan is going to very carefully look at the decorations and designs to see if there's any influence from, say, the Necronomicon.
Any influence from, say, what? I beg your pardon?
The Necronomicon.
There is no reference to the Necronomicon.
Okay, so there's no mad Arabs here. Got it.
Oh, God.
I will put out Kim is in this hangout, and if I introduce the Elder God, she'd be all over it like that.
Yas, this character would gain fucking Legend Tony faster than you could blink.
I mean, to be fair, part of his background is he was a professor at Miskatonic University.
Oh, God.
But that is entirely fair. So do you enter through the flap, as it were?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Okay. Whereas the Griffith Club was historically a gentleman's club, you enter the room and you find the fact that you are now standing in what appears to be a large, very spacious tent, complete with the fact that the walls themselves are entirely covered in fabric. However, you will notice the fact that the bottom of the walls appear to billow ever so slightly as if there is a breeze, and there are even flecks of sand that are being dragged in onto the carpet that dominates the floor. Many different rugs and intricate patterns of weave all greet you as you walk inside. There are 2 or 3 large bookshelves that are pressed against the walls, each of them bulging with books, scrolls, maps, and their ilk. There is a huge central table around which the party of inverted commas adventurers is currently gathered. There is a meal that has been set that could feed 100 men, that could feed 100 men upon the table that groans under its weight. In the center of the table, there is a 5-foot tall shisha pipe from which... Actually, question, is anyone actually smoking from the shisha? I know people are eating, but is anyone actually... Okay. It is very good. It is very good shisha. It is apple flavored.
Yay! Apples!
Okay. This is also because apple is Evan's favorite tobacco when he has to smoke.
Yeah, Lottie would be tempted by that apple.
They're all seated on very large cushions around the table proper. The room is lit by a number of lamps that sit rather happily upon the fabric of the outer walls. And interestingly enough, you've been inside the Griffith Club. You have a rough idea of the dimensions that this room should be. The room is bigger than it should be, or than it has been hitherto now.
Given his past, this does not surprise him in the slightest. Hell, he's been to a library that's bigger on the inside, so, you know.
You're not wrong. Siren's library is pretty baller. But yes, and that is what greets you as you enter. Everyone, a wild Ben has entered.
Hey, I'm back finally.
Wait, was it honorific doctor or professor?
They're interchangeable since he has a PhD.
Evening, Professor Lockhart.
Good evening.
You will notice that there's a woman standing behind a man. The man is dressed in a long red trench coat with a white silken undershirt, a purple sash, and a number of incredibly expensive-looking pieces of jewelry. The woman is dressed in a black suit with a pair of black sunglasses. She's very clearly of Middle Eastern descent, and she has her hair tied back in a ponytail. She looks at you, and her glasses drop down her nose. You see the fact her eyes are a brilliant, and when I say brilliant, I mean almost shining shade of purple. The seated man will look at Finlay and he will say, "Is this individual a friend of yours, perhaps, Master Weiss?"
We know each other decently. We met. We arrived in the city about the same time.
Oh, I see. Would you care then to do the introductions?
Or sorry, retcon that. Obviously, the character's been here for ages. It was, we yes, something they became active at the same time. I don't know. We were. What'd you say? Sorry.
He said, in that case, would you care to do the introductions?
Ah, yes. This is Professor Alan Lockhart of the Etherites.
Oh, how very interesting. Please, come, sit, be welcome at my table in Shatty.
Thank you. He takes a seat at a place where he can pretty much observe the majority of the room. It's not like he's putting his back to a wall or anything. He's just someone who likes to observe.
By the way, hey, Alan. Beep, 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 beep.
Yes. Now that the beeping is done.
That might or might not have been a very specific piece of equipment I know that you keep on your person that might or might not detect certain things.
Oh, the PKE meter's going off? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, like mad.
Okay, he'll look at it, very obviously sweep it around the room to see exactly where the source is.
It nearly has the thing nearly has a stroke when you pointed at the woman with the purple eyes.
Fascinating. And that's all he says. Literally, that's his entire reaction, is just fascinating.
But yes, my apologies. Before the good doctor joined us, you were saying something to me, I believe, Mr. Murphy. Or Master Murphy.
Oh, I was going to say the shisha is delicious. And is there anything from this side of the motions to the kind of spread that's in front of him that I may get you?
No, I'm quite fine, thank you, with what I have. But yes, I'm sure that we will be very happy in Dublin as we intend to make it a more long-term home.
He will nod. There is many strange and wonderful things that happens in the city. I really want to say that that's an understatement, but it's not. And I would like to emphasize the strange more than the wonderful.
Yeah.
I sense very much
When you're strange during
I
that.
sense that there's a tale to be told in that case, Mr. Murphy. If you do not mind enlightening us as to the tale itself.
So, not too long ago, probably around the same time that... And you see this look where, like, things just kind of... Like, he realizes something where Liam has... Gears have fallen into place. Then there's a moment of panic, and then that is subdued. And then he goes, there was a time, not too long ago, at which the city was under dire threat from a number of angles. It invoked a rage from a paradox spirit, and the city was almost wiped out. But that has come and gone. But putting the numbers together, I find it unique that shortly before your glorious and wonderful, gracious arrival, and that the items from your homeland, the items from
Quirk an eyebrow just to kind of cut you off, and he'll say, "I'm just a person. Just because I happen to be born into a specific family and have a specific thing that goes before my name doesn't make me any better than you. Legitimately. So you can stop with all this high and mighty X, that, and the other. I get that's enough when I'm at home."
And he just kind of like shrugs and is like this habit.
It's fine.
I went to Catholic school, so
The Catholic
things-
priest just kind of looks over at him like, "Excuse me?"
Clearly,
I
you
got
took the
things-
lessons more to
I
heart
got
than
things
me.
drilled into me, man.
And what is that supposed to mean? If
I got hit by nuns a lot.
Renovation is kind of the deal.
Proper people
Are we
get
wrong?
proper titles get proper adorations. Otherwise, I get hit with rulers.
And if you remember correctly, he stated that he would rather be called a Shar. If you were paying attention.
Watch out, there's a ruler coming out. I'm sure of it.
Still a prince.
Might just.
Speaking of which, Mr. Ashar, where's my manners? I am Carlisle Carter, by the way. And he'll offer his hand.
It is very nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
During the 1980s... Oh, sorry, did you tell him what tradition you were?
Yes, he will have said that's correct.
During the 1980s, the Tiftani learned a great amount from the Society of Ether. Admittedly, it was because we kept breaking into your constructs and looking at your devices, but we learned a great deal.
Lottie's just gonna eat her curry. Not gonna say a thing.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly well about what most of my bosses or my former bosses earlier.
But fortunately, because we learned from you, it enabled us to... You see him stop and contemplate. We took what we learned and we then built upon it. And that was how we managed to create one of the most beautiful cities in the world in what is essentially a desert. How it is we managed to raise buildings that are nearly impossible, and people believed that the impossible could be possible, so it was. It's how we created the consensus.
Perhaps you can show us one day.
We learned, if you do not mind a short story, during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, which was a maneuver via the Technocratic Union in order to diminish the power in our homeland of the Tiftani and the, our more secretive brethren, the Al-Hiyabaten. Silly shadow walkers being silly. They believed that this was the, how would you phrase it? that they could hurl their soulless minions of orthodoxy against us, and it nearly worked. We were nearly overwhelmed. However, ultimately, the people did not wish to be slaves. And so it was that they believed that they could be free, and they believed in whatever manner God would send in order to give them freedom. So we fought back, we drove them back, and we were then taught a lesson, which was, if mankind wishes it enough, it will become manifest. So when people wished, oh how they wished, that they could touch the sky, well, we built buildings that could do this. Admittedly, we used awakened science in the process, but because people wished it enough, and because people believed it was true, it didn't defy the consensus any longer. So ultimately, we learned the lesson that if humanity wishes it, and if they believe in their hearts that it can be done, then you defeat paradox.
Sweet.
But I'm rambling. I do apologize.
No, trust me, it's very interesting information.
Quite interesting.
Hey, by the way, Byron is back. I'm not sure if he's up for his intro yet.
That was so crackly, I have no idea what he said.
Sorry, I might go look.
Your mic is giving you issues?
Oh, you know?
Still crackly, but I heard that.
Okay.
Guys, is the crackly thing something you can fix by coming back in and out, or is that the robot voice?
No?
He's
That's much
clear
better.
right now.
You're good. Damn it!
So close.
Yet so far.
Here he comes.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Clear.
Alright. It's still showing the one pizza. I can't change that. Yeah.
It's all good.
So, you want me to intro now?
If you want to, dude.
Alright, I'll go ahead and intro. I'm assuming I got today off again.
Yes.
Alright, eh. What'd be the best way to get me to this club?
It is well known to be the big Mage hangout in Dublin.
And there was wasn't there a publishing about it in the paper?
Yes, that it was under new management.
Alright, so I'll go to the club.
Okay. You will get the exact same description I've given everyone else because I really don't want to repeat it a third time. It's really long.
Yeah. I heard
Did you
it.
hear the description the first two times I gave it?
Yeah, kind of, but I don't worry about it.
He caught the one with
Okay,
Ben.
cool.
Yeah.
In that case, as you pull back the tent flap, if you would like to describe your character to the rest of the people.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. He stands about 6 foot, 6'5". Kind of white hair going down to his mid back. Got a pair of he got a suit on with black sunglasses, a black tie, looks very well dressed. to head to Soda. I'm presuming they took my baton from me.
That's actually a good question. Do they take weapons from you here?
I mean, it's nothing special about it. It's just a
They
baton.
don't. No, they don't actually take. They don't take your weapons from you. No.
Alright, he got a baton, and on one side, and probably a pair of handcuffs on the other. And he just looks around for a second. Let's see. I'll go to the bar if there's one.
I think there's a central table now, instead of the old bar setup. It's like a feast hall, kind of, sort of, except in the middle of a tent. It's very unorthodox.
It is very unorthodox. He like kind of looked at everything weirdly. Found for a minute, and I'll go and find an empty table.
There is only one table. It's a large central table where everyone is currently sitting.
It's like big enough to seat a huge gathering of people. So, I mean, you could sit away from people if you wanted, I guess, right?
I'll go ahead and sit away from people for a second, seeing how I don't really know anybody here.
The woman who, once again, as I described, is rather attractive, Middle Eastern, has purple eyes hidden behind sunglasses, will casually quirk her head to the side as you enter, and she'll say,
Oh,
"And who are you, sir?"
Oh, and I got red eyes hidden behind my sunglasses.
What?
That's fine.
Okay.
She will say, "And who are you, sir?"
My name. My name is Jordan. Jordan Brown.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Brown. You are welcome to my lord's table.
Oh, I.
She will very casually look down at the others, and she will say, "Do any of you know this individual?"
He is new to me. By the way, Alan looks pretty much like the picture and has about the same facial expression all the time.
Bit of a weird question, because it is something that relevant characters can tell. He has a very dead kind of expression. He doesn't actually possess any flaw or have any mental effect that means he doesn't feel emotion. So I'm guessing he feels it, he just doesn't show it.
Yeah, pretty much. He can be terrified, but his tone of voice and expression won't change.
That's fine. Can anyone else vouch for the stranger?
I am part of. I gotta find the thing. It was the Dream Peakers.
Yes, it was the Dream Speakers.
Yeah. I am Jordan Brown of the Dream Peakers.
In that case, be welcome to our table, Kavati. She will say as she bows ever so slightly her head.
Lottie's gonna wave. Sup?
Nothing. The roof. I just thought I would pop in and see what's going on. Seeing how I just arrived here a few days ago, I haven't really had time yet to take a break and see what's going on.
Oh, welcome to the city.
Thank you. Are there any more of me around here? Dream pickers, I mean.
I don't believe I've met any. Has anyone else?
No.
Liam will shrug. Don't see many Kavadi outside.
Kind of face palms. Oh boy. So I left a city full of them, and then went to a city that had none.
Well, none that we know of, anyways. They might just be keeping a low profile.
Now then, Ishar will kind of lean back and he'll kind of put his hands behind his head and he'll say, "If I can just have your attention for a few moments, my friends. In essence, so that you understand, there are currently, well, I take it that you're all aware of the conflict that currently rages in Syria as well as throughout my homeland in the Middle East, yes?"
Shake my head no.
Liam will nod.
Mm-hmm.
Alan will actually shake his head no.
No clue.
Really? You don't know about the Islamic State and etc. etc. etc.
Yes,
I have been busying myself with research.
I don't really want news on us.
That's fair. I will not bore you with the particulars as it pertains political ideologies and or religious fundamentalism. However, unfortunately, this group of rebels or freedom fighters or religious dissidents broke in when they when they seized large areas of my homeland. This included the former capital of what was then the second incarnation of the Persian Empire, and what was the second incarnation of the Persian Empire, which was known as Ctesiphon. Ctesiphon was a beautiful city once, however it has since fallen into ruins, but it is very important to my craft, my tradition, I would suppose. Whilst in Ctesiphon, they broke open several important tombs and seized several important objects, including no less than 6 bottles of gin, which I'm led to understand have been taken or sold onto the black market and are currently available in Dublin. My superiors in the Tiftani, as well as myself, have been worried by this, particularly since one of these individuals, by the name of Sharatep, is the Sharatep, known as the Burner of Cities, is the iteration that became known to Christianity as Shaitan in later iterations of the Christian Bible. We are very anxious for these bottles of gin to be found, either returned to us or placed into trustworthy hands. So I would merely ask if any of you hear about items of cultural significance being sold on the black markets or in other manners transported, that you attempt to liberate them or inform me if it is at all possible.
If I may ask a question.
Yes.
If one were to hear about something like that, say an auction, and I haven't, for the record, if anyone did, if you had the choice, would you prefer people to try and take it by force, by stealth, or would you prefer it to be purchased? Because I'll be honest, I doubt very many people in this room could afford to purchase it.
I merely wish them to be liberated so that they can either be sent home or so that they can either be returned to us in the case of Sharatep and rebound in a new tomb so that he may never once again walk the earth, or protected so that they may be sent back to my homeland or find new masters. It doesn't matter to me how it is they're acquired, merely that they are acquired.
Understood.
We are happy to provide you with suitable recompense for any danger that may be faced in either monetary value or knowledge, whichever it is that you would personally favor. Just yesterday, as I said, Master Belmont, Father Belmont, and Master Murphy were instrumental in the recapture of Karatep, a soldier djinn who has now bonded himself to, or who is now in covenant with a ecstatic by the name of Sketch.
So there are others in the city somewhere?
There are 5 more.
Liam will hold up his hand. 5.
Oh boy.
One of which is suspected to be Shaitan.
Like, I'm... Spirit lore ain't gonna help me on that, is it?
No.
It's too specific. Belief systems?
Intelligence belief systems difficulty 8 if you really want to roll it.
I do. One success.
It's something to do with the Bible.
Huh. I take it that's a big power player.
And Liam's just gonna hold his right hand up, as Matt was holding up the 5 fingers. He's gonna turn it into a fist, and then he's just gonna make a nodding motion.
Ah.
With his hand. Llama says yes.
God damn you.
Shaitan. Sound it out.
Oh.
Sa.
I get it. I get it.
Alan is looking at Austin very carefully right now. Because the way he's kind of mumbling those words is...
Well, no, it was very like a teacher
Yes.
taking
it's just
a
the
familiar
words
word
he's
to a...
using.
It is a very educational tone from the take the
Oh,
word
no,
you heard and then morph it. And
He's
then
not angry or anything. It's just he's looking at you because those words sound similar to something he's heard before.
Yep.
So, but they're not all. Only one of the remaining 5 is that individual. And you would like these returned to you, all of them, correct?
If possible, yes. It was unfortunate that Karatep was summoned in the way that he was, and I do not know if the Sketch personage will have the mental fortitude to be a Jinn's master. But then again, that is not necessarily my concern. My main concern is that Karatep is brought back to the homeland so he can be once again resealed, as he was sealed behind 7 doors that were locked by 7 keys behind 7 wards. However, unfortunately, as I said, these Islamic State were not exactly known for their finesse when they broke open temples and sacked them for their goods, for their gold. Suleiman alone knows the damage that they have caused.
If this were in your homeland and you were seeking out artifacts like this, what would be your first step?
Honestly, they are very valuable. Even the basest of Jinn, requires their vessel to be made of gold and adorned with jewels. So even the most common of Jinn, he'll casually flick his hair back and he'll show you the large diamond that's on his ear and he'll say, this particular one binds Naradu. You saw Naradu as you came in, the bouncer. You will observe that it is still an object of great value. So I would think that they would more than likely be sold to upper-end clientele who would have an their historical and/or monetary value.
So the vessels are typically of some very valuable material, but not always gold.
Not always gold, no.
So, what are these? Are these like in bottle shapes, or what am I missing here? Sorry, I
Are
meant
these
to
like
just on
what?
that.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Byron.
I was asking, what are they usually in the shape of? Are they like in the shape of bottles? In a
They can take the
canister?
shape of most anything. For example, as I said, one of mine is an earring. The one we found yesterday took the shape of a traditional lamp. I know Shaitans or the Charateps in the form of a ring.
Is there a specific type of witnessy that goes off it?
Specific type of resonance?
Yeah.
Not overly. Once again, it would depend upon the entity in question. They would imprint their own resonance upon their own container. Some of them are very happy and jovial, others are filled with mischief and malice. Some of them know only cruelty and hate.
Interesting. Well, I will. I'm sure everyone here would be more than willing to help return your property.
We would be 1,000 times grateful. And as I've said, we are more than happy to pay either in monetary sums or knowledge or whatever price it is you would ask.
I suppose a question is, do you have names or do you have an idea of which of the jinn were sent here, or just that the vessels were sent here in general?
The woman will kind of cock her head to the side and she'll say, "You must understand, many of the jinn in question were bound approximately 1,500 years ago during the reign of King Cosmo. It's very hard to say who it is exactly who may have been bound. We only know Sharatep is here mostly because his tomb was broken in, or his prison was broken into and defiled, and we were able to trace the cash receipts of his vessel's sail until it was brought here. There is only one saving grace in this matter. His seal, or his vessel, was placed within a golden trinket puzzle box that was made by the finest and most ingenious of the Teftani smiths at the time. It is incredibly difficult to solve. If any individual attempts to solve it in a way that is unsuitable, it will lock itself to the point that it cannot be opened. So many people would rather not damage it. So we are merely hoping that in the case of Sharatep, that we are able to find it before anyone puzzles out the puzzle box, as it were. Because if someone puts his ring upon his finger, in that case, they will have a servant who, I assure you, will twist every wish they make until they wish themselves that they had never been born.
I should one assume that these vessels, and in this case the puzzle box, are warded from standard detection?
Correct.
Is it possible that they might still have a more subtle impact on their environment that the wards would not prevent? Be harder to identify it. Sorry, go ahead.
What do you mean exactly?
Objects of great power, at least in most of the stories I'm familiar with, even if... How to put this? If, for example, a powerful shield had a aura of courage or something like that, and it were a vastly powerful artifact, such as what we're discussing here, even if you could not detect the artifact itself, you might be able to detect some kind of faint traces in its environment. Of course, you would have to know what you're looking for.
I honestly don't know the answer to that.
Something worth investigating, possibly. Can't hurt.
I will warn you, however, as I've said, many of these boxes or many of these bottles will have preventive measures in place from the jinn themselves becoming corporeal and offering their service to a new master. The reason for this is simple. Frankly put, once the jinn is sworn, their wish becomes your wish, your command becomes their command, etc. Your command becomes their wish, as it were. However, many jinn will trick you. Many jinn will take what it is you have said and twist it to their own ends, regardless how foul or nefarious it might be. For example, you may say that you wish for the child drowning in the river to be saved. A mischievous jinn will simply take the child and drown it faster so they are saved from the screams and the fear of their own death. So, I would warn any one of you who might make a covenant or a compact with these jinn that you need to understand the fact that unless you know them, unless you understand them as an entity, as people, for lack of a better word, then they will possibly betray you. They will bite you. They will take what you say and twist them into your nightmares.
And just as importantly, if I understand you correctly, if someone were to bind themselves to this jinn, they would no longer be able to transfer ownership back to you.
I didn't hear what you said. What you said, so I'm sorry.
Sorry, he was saying basically if someone unlocks the genie and becomes its master, they can't give it back to you. It's bound.
Oh, you can give up the jinn if you give up the vessel with the covenant sworn. You can deign to do so of your own free will. That is in most contracts sworn. For example, however, I could not, even if I wanted to, and I assure you I would never wish to, give up my protector of justice and loyalty. He will say, denoting the female jinn who will bow. For she is not sworn to me, she is sworn directly to my family line. So it is that I will pass her on to my children or to whichever son whom I deign worthy of following in my footsteps and being her custodian. If you understand. So in many cases they do transcend lifetimes. She will say, yes, indeed. As I said, I have served Master Aishar's family for 10 generations. People yesterday had a very interesting question as to if that means what? Does that mean 10 times 10, which is 100, or does that mean 10 to the 10th power?
Or 10 plus 10. To be weird.
Or 10 plus 10.
You said not to make you do math.
This hangout brought to you by the number 10.
God damn.
However, the hour here is out of character, is getting late, so Evan actually thinks he needs to sleep because he's crashing slightly. So does anyone mind if we call the scene shortly?
Nope, not at all.
Nope.
I don't mind calling the scene shortly, but won't that make a weird YouTube comment?
I can't take it then. All right. The conversations will stretch on late into the evening, talking about everything in sundry. And in that case, I would like to say thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another Scene in Darkness in Dublin, where she needs, motherfucker.